All right, today is, I don't even have 3 hours. It's gonna be maybe I do. It's 5:15. I've maybe got until 8 o'clock with sunlight, so 3-hour challenge and inside the mind of an angler. This is the second part of this series. I'll link the first one in the video here at the end of the video. But yeah, follow along. Let's see if we can get 10 pounds in the boat. That's the goal. Always the goal of the 3-hour challenge. It's a short amount of time. Haven't bass fished in about a month, so I don't know what's going on. Well, it hasn't been that long. A couple of weeks though, but here we go. We got a jerk bait out, we got a Texas rig out, and we got a paddle tail swim bait out. Right now we're looking at a bunch of grass on the graph, and I'm trying to see what I see here, I guess. We're gonna give this just a little bit. Water's really muddy, so I might have to find some cleaner grass or cleaner water. We had a bunch of rain and some storms and stuff, which of course always leads to dirtier water. There's a fish, maybe. Maybe not. So there's weeds under the boat, not weeds over here. So we want to kind of see where the weeds meet versus like the edge of the weeds is what I'm looking at first. Holes in the weeds is a good spot to look. And like I say, it's been 3 or 4 weeks since I've done any bass fishing. I did a little bit out of the back of Brandon's boat, and I know where that spot is. I may end up going and seeing if they're still there, but I kind of want to find some new fish. I get bored of finding the same old fishing the same fish, so I'm in search mode, basically. I'm looking for something bright to pop off in the grass, either in the grass or above the grass. Chances are the grass is still pretty dead. We got 66 degree water temperatures, which means to me that they probably are moved up. So we might not stay out here very long. We might go do what I love to do, skip a jig at some docks, pitch a little creature bait at some docks, jerk bait, and see if we can see any shallow, which more than likely, with the water temperature being 65.9, 66 degrees, that's it's basically go time. And I started right outside where I normally start. This is kind of a little bit deeper spot. That's normally, right in there is where our normal starting cove or starting spot is. I'm seeing if the idea is that some might be staging out here still before they move up. So anytime I'm kind of in search mode and I don't know, I want to be able to do different things. What I mean by that is different depths, different watercolors, different whether it's the windy side or the non-windy side, like all of that could matter. And that's how I start, is eliminating, or at least starting to weed out. You don't have a lot of time. 3 hours is not a lot of time to figure stuff out, but the faster you can break it down or get lucky and land on them, the better off you're going to be. So right now I'm just flipping around this Texas rig at weed edges or stuff that I think looks good. Everybody thinks, oh, you got a live scope, you're cheating, it's so easy. Buy one. Buy one, tell me how easy it is. Sure, you learn a lot more than you learn a lot quicker than you would if you were just out here randomly pitching a jig around like the weed edges and that. But it surely still is not easy. It's just as easy, in my opinion, to go flip a jig under every dock and try to catch 5. And I actually prefer that over looking at live scope, to tell you the truth. But it's not always going to work out for you. There's always some fish shallow, that's for sure. But when everybody's throwing stuff shallow, sometimes they are pretty hard to catch unless you're either super natural or super aggressive. I try to think like a hunter almost, being stealthy as possible, quiet as possible. I think sometimes the way the bait hits the water is a big deal. I try to sneak it by him or sneak it in there. I don't think that fish was very big, but he did take my plastic. Me and my father-in-law have been doing a lot of research on colors and scents and stuff, and one thing we have discovered, haven't proven it yet, but have discovered in reading and stuff, is that bass only have red and green cones. They don't have the blue cone? They have one cone less than humans. So they see things definitely differently. So what we think looks juicy might not actually look juicy to them. So we're playing with some colors. And I know red and orange, maybe red more than orange, has been a thing in the spring, at least in the south and that. So orange, red, close enough. Probably not hugely different underwater. So if we don't catch a fish back here, then we gotta find a third plan, which means even deeper maybe. That first grass flat was like 8 feet deep. There's some deeper grass we can look at, 12 to 14. But again, something different. We want to do something different as much as possible if what we're doing ain't working. And I know I've thrown this Texas rig the whole time. This is I can swim it, I can let it free fall and drop, I can put it in a lot of places, and the only reason I haven't picked up a jig is because my jig rod has no line on it. Water's really high. Really high. And really muddy. Only thing we got going is that it's warming. Yeah. Little fish are hitting this. Is what's happening, I think. All right, well, let's go attempt something else. This is the last thing that worked over here. Was a jerk bait. This ain't gonna work for sure. But I'm not seeing any fish neither, so maybe they're out of here now. Let's see. There's a fish. Very little. But a fish. Not big enough. I don't like it. All right, Brandon and I found some up in the shallow stuff, so let's go that way. See what we can find up there. Maybe 66.8 back here. It's gonna get even warmer as we go. We're in 2 feet of water. Let's swim and jig through this stuff, see what we can't figure out, if anything. A lot of lily pads back here, a lot of roots and hard stuff for them to get their nests on. So you see me popping my rod. That is ultimately just to get the skirt to flare a little bit. And I'm coming right through these weeds the best I can, hoping I come over the top side of something and they don't like it. Kind of looking for openings. Like this is a good one between this weed patch, between these two weed patches here. I don't know what they are. Oh, I thought I had one. They're like a woody, brushy type thing. Not sure what they are. Another thing to look for is where two or three things are different. So there's this thorny stuff and then there's some lily pads here. That's a good spot. And sometimes it's just bare, wide open, nothing. I see some greenery over there. I'm going to try and get over there. Some of this stuff is green too. Green is good, it gives oxygen. Everything's been dead all winter as far as the vegetation goes. So the green gives oxygen. As they are growing, obviously they give cover overhead, which we don't really need today. We got a lot of cloud cover, which is why they could be on nothing, just roaming around. But I do like the green. For one thing, it's something different. Here's another type of grass that I haven't seen back here yet, a little eel grass. You got to pay attention to all the little nuances. Like even as much as these are little dollar pads, that whole patch over there is much bigger, growing already. So, and then if you get a bite, you pay attention to what you got that bite on. And try and replicate. The hardest thing is the first bite. First good bite. We had one bite, but I don't know. I'm not seeing a lot of activity. I'm still seeing the bugs that were back here 2-3 weeks ago, but I'm not seeing a lot of bluegills moving or none of that. There we go. That's a pike. Little pike. Not what we're after, but one thing that's good about that is there's life back here. If they're back here, there's bluegill. I thought, now I'm getting trigger happy. If they're back here, there's definitely something to eat back here as well. Generally speaking, they're predators too. They're looking for meals, and they should probably be done spawning right now, but I don't know that for a fact. I just saw our friend the blue heron fly out of that tree, so he's looking for food too. I'm watching where he's going. And it's not close. Oh, I feel like that might have been a fish. That was for sure. I don't know if that was a carp or not, but it was definitely a fish. There's one. Well, it's a bass. Maybe it's just deeper back in here. A little bit better, not enough to weigh yet, but that tells me I'm doing something right at least. A couple fish in a row now on the swim jig, so I'm gonna keep doing this. Air temperature has dropped about, I don't know, at least 5 degrees since I've been out here, it feels like. Back to those 2 fish, they weren't really on anything. They were kind of just in a pile of, well, don't really care what the pike was doing, but both fish were in the same type of area. It was just some lily pads like what you see out here. There was nothing really there that you would think would hold. There's, wow, I missed him. There was one there. he's still swimming there. No, he knows we're here now. Oh my God. Lost cause. But that one too. Nothing around. Just that one. That one had something around it. Alright, first keeper. I don't even think he'll keep. They're all short. We'll measure them just for giggles. Oh yeah. Alright, we got one to go. One on this anyway. I saw him shoot from across the way. That was kind of a cool bite. Even though he's nowhere near the size we want. Alright, probably just over a pound. Yeah, 131. 131. So just a pound and a quarter. Nothing great. Yeah, maybe we'll start catching a few. We'll leave that out. That one was actually on this wood spot over here. And he saw that swim jig from a ways away and came and got it. So they're aggressive if we can find them. Weather this spring has been nothing short of fantastic. And that is sarcasm at its finest. Well, that's something to pay attention to. That wind picked up out of nowhere. Anytime you got a weather change, keep it in mind. What you're doing might stop working. Or might start working if it wasn't working in the first place. But that wind is whipping right through me, so I gotta put my jacket on. Oosh. So sick of wearing a jacket. Long sleeves, jacket, hat, gloves. Tomorrow's May. Come on. Cut us some slack. I should probably put my bibs on too, because it's probably going to start raining and I'm too hard-headed to go in. There we go. That's a better fish too. Alright. Better than what we've been catching anyway. Okay, so he was tucked up out of the wind, which is smart right now, in one of them little coves. And they come out and hammered it. Probably 2 pounds anyway. Come on, simmer down. Yeah. 218. 2-pounder, fat. So you can just see where they're starting to get red on their tail and their fin there. But that was where I would have been if I was a bass. A lot of times little holes like that, they're going to sit in there because they can sit on any side given the direction of the wind or whatever they're feeling, and they can come out to the middle if anything comes across that little hole, and they can get it. Alright, here's a good looking zone, maybe. I hope there's a fish in here. I feel like there's going to be a fish in here. It's a little bit out of the wind. Some green lilies, which we haven't caught anything on any green lily pads yet, but it's out of the wind. There's a great big hole in this right here, which is where I'm anticipating a bite. Anywhere in there? No. Apparently not. Nothing there. Here. And we'll just drop the jig in there. I wish that would have been a little bit further. Cast to the outside of the lily pads. Nothing. I do think there's going to be some fish in these little pockets. I know I've said this before and I'll say it again. When you're shallow fishing like this, the most important thing you can do is cast well. And I fish a lot and still make a lot of mistakes. So practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice in your backyard if you can. Practice in your driveway. Practice. That was not a fish, that was a stick. Why? These are all short buggers. That one's a little chunky though. 1.5 pounds. Still no marks on that one for spawning. No, that wasn't a fish. Saw it go sideways, but it was just a lily. That's a fish though. That is for sure a fish. That's a good one, I think. Yeah. Decent anyway. .82. Also still pre-spawn. And the reason I'm looking at that is it's getting close. They should be, their tails should be getting bloody, making, or it's a female. Well, even the females, their tails get bloody a little bit when they're doing all this. They both, the male does most of the work as far as making the bed, but the female, both of them will have, they'll be beat up. They'll have bloody marks all over them. And these last couple, they've been pretty fresh, pretty clean. I don't know if we can catch any giants doing this, but given the story so far, I don't know if we can catch any giants doing what we're doing. But maybe we can at least catch our 5th one and then go try a little bit deeper if we want, if there's time left. We got about 45 minutes to the end of our 3-hour challenge. Ah, that was definitely a bite. And there it is. Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. Best one of the day. Same size as the last one, 218. He is kind of scrawny. See how he's got a little bit of red going on his tail and fin there? They're starting to do stuff. All right, we got 903. We got to upgrade. We got 3 little fish in there, so only 2 over 2. Well, that was a fun bite. Swim jig bite is a ton of fun. A ton of fun, especially right now. This water is pretty dingy and murky, but you can see them flash on it and you can see them smash it. So you can see them swirl. I thought I saw a fish swirl. It might have just been, oh, that's green back there. Might just be when you hit something. But a lot of times you'll see stuff move. You'll see the lily pad shake or the whatever it is, these little reeds. So it's a pretty fun bite. It's getting to where we can take a frog out and get some topwater action too, which is always a blast. We got 30 minutes. We need 1 2-pounder to upgrade to get our 10. Well, a little over 2. But it's very doable. There's one. I don't know if he'll upgrade or not. I don't know if he will. It's definitely not a pound upgrade if it isn't. But we definitely figured something out tonight in a short period of time, so that's kind of cool. Been a good time. $141. So we upgraded by 1/10 of a pound. We had 131, and now we got a 141. So we're at 913 instead of 903. Inching our way closer to something respectable. A lot of little fish back here. This lake has quite a few 2+ pounders. We got 15 minutes to catch one good one. Has to be at least basically 2.5. Needs to be the best fish of the day in order to break our 10 pounds. But this lake has them. This lake's got plenty of 3 and 4 pounders even. But everything up so far is 2 and less. So I don't know if we'll get it. We only got 15 minutes, so I feel like we'll get another fish. I just don't know how big it'll be. Hopefully you like this series. I kind of like talking about what I'm doing. It helps me even think about what is going on at the time. We found a few today, which was cool. 9.13 pounds. Not quite our goal, but darn near in 2 hours and 59 minutes. So I'll take that. Not knowing what we were doing at all. Like I said, we haven't been out here in weeks, so it was all right. It was fun having you guys ride along with this. Leave a comment in the comment section if you like this content or if you want me to do something specific, something different. But yeah, like, subscribe, Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.